Where did the game separate?
Yeah, no, we talked about getting off to a better start. And I thought there was some progress in that first, 15 minutes or wherever it was. I thought we were sound, we were tough, and took care of the ball, made it a little more difficult on them to get some shots. And then, we talked about after the game, when you're playing well, it's easy and your highs can be as high as you want. But a step for us as a team and everything is when we're struggling a little bit, you can't let your lows just be so low. You just figure out ways to kind of stop the bleeding, maybe not the big runs. And, just there's some breakdowns that we have that are hard to overcome. But that's, again, our inexperience certainly does show, and this is not a year in this league to be inexperienced. I think there's good veteran teams, and you got to be ready. But we'll keep working at it. And again, I think NC State they got a tough. They're 1, 2s, and 3s defensively. Really get after you and make it hard. Obviously, I had Casey for a couple of years, but what they've added and dangerous team for sure with the inside-outside attack, and then I think their defensive tenacity. That's why I like the way we took care of the ball early, and then I think they wore us down a little bit.
Okay. Mike.
We talk a lot about the road situation versus how you play at home. You just mentioned lows getting too low. Do you think this team has enough competitive fire to be good on the road? Yeah,
I think, you got to be as fiercely competitive as you can in these settings. And I think it's just a matter of, and when you're inexperienced, the energy of the crowd can help you. But, good teams, the times we've gotten into situations, we've gotten down, I think we sometimes get discouraged. And then it unravels quickly if we're missing shots. And then when our defense gives up some easy buckets, it gets tough. But, these are good young men that I think they lay it on the line. But there's times that, those who've been through the battles know you die and you fight it as hard as you can, and I think we're learning, and we're still trying to find the right personnel. I shortened that rotation early, and then tried some other guys here and there. So, but you just keep challenging them. I thought Jordan gave us a nice lift at the end, and that was good to see. But yeah, no, as far as competitive fire, I mean, that's easy, to sit there and say that. We got outplayed. We made some errors, running out too far and trapping, and then it got in there. And we got a little, which happened against Memphis and some of the other ones, when we got down, we got a little rattled and tried to get it back too quick. And I think that composure, inexperience at times is what all of a sudden separates it. And then a bad decision on the offensive end can lead to, indecision on the defensive end. So I think it's as much of that than saying, well, you lack the competitive fire. No, I don't think it's quite like that, but you got to fight like crazy. I know that. Been in this long enough.
Take one on the far left, and then David Teal.
Tony, just your thoughts on Dennis Parker Jr.'s performance.
Yeah.
The guy's a Richmond native as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. Talented. Went to John Marshall, where Coach Jay Willie is from. Let me see his stat line. So 5 of 8, 3 of 5 from 3. When he shoots the 3 ball with his athleticism, that changes it. And dynamic young player for sure. And again, with the experience, sometimes you can bring guys like him along when you have the steadiness of their perimeter players and, of course, their interior. And I think he's a great addition. And, him knocking down the ball from 3 like that and using his athleticism, usually he gets loose on the offensive glass, and at least we did a little better job that way. But a good player for sure.
David, and then Jeff.
Tony, I don't know if it was his first 3 or not, but I think you're ahead 19-15.
Is that when they shot the 40-footer?
Yeah, it was him, yeah. And there was only 1.5 seconds, I think, on the shot clock coming out of it.
Yeah.
And it seemed to unravel from there.
Yeah, that was tough. Ryan, did you bother it? I remember Reese, and I thought he's not going to make that, and then also they, but you have to be able to handle that. That's 3 points. But it did. Boy, they went, and then there was a breakdown on a post trap. And maybe a turnover, missed shot, and then it separated, and then even coming out of the half, that's the stuff that's challenging. So, but that was certainly a momentum swing, because I thought our guys had a little bit of the right mindset in terms of how we were playing. Had a good level. We say you can't be too fast, can't be too slow in offense. You got to move the defense around a little bit, and then sometimes when we get rattled, we either go too quick or we don't take the stuff that's in front of us. So part of that is growing from it, but that was I'm not going to say that if he went to make that, it would be a different story. But that you felt the swing, and then you could see it, you could feel it a little bit because it happened quick.
Okay, Jeff, and then Mike.
State hit 10 3-pointers and appeared to get a lot of good looks. Were you happy with the closeouts and the three-point defense?
What do you think, Jeff? Come on. No, I think where they got some, the indecision, on the post trap, we were pretty clear, like, look, if he catches at a certain spot, go, and all of a sudden we go and we put the brakes on, that hurt. I thought we got disconnected on some of our ball screen defense, so we had 2 on the ball, and they're throwing the passes, the corners, and they obviously knocked them down. So it wasn't just like we were, they just were drawing, kicking, and getting. It was a little more off of post trap breakdowns or a ball screen getting extended out too far, and then they made the plays and hit some tough shots too with it. But yeah, that's hard. So when they're going to shoot that from 3 with that interior too.
Okay, take one last, or two more.
Isaac had a rough stretch where it seemed like defenses were on him. He's had a couple of good games in a row now. How important is it for you that he's kind of refound that stroke?
Yeah, no, I mean, he's obviously our second most experienced player, and we need, we're not a prolific outside shooting team, so we need it. We need him to, look and, get it the way he has to get it. He's not as natural getting all the way to the rim. He's got a beautiful pull-up, and then if we can get him loose and get rhythm shots and find it, so seeing him do that stuff was good. And I'm always going to be challenging him on, taking care of the ball and all that stuff. But I like that he was assertive, because we need him to look to score in his way. And I thought Reese had played really well, because that young man put the heat on him, and he's one of the better on-ball defenders I've seen this year, Jaden Taylor from Butler. And so that was good. But seeing Isaac get some stuff going, you got to look at when you got a team like that, you say, let's look at positives, let's build on that, and keep addressing those areas to get better.
Okay, last one, David.
Tony, the indecision you mentioned on post traps, is
Yep.
that what led to NC State being so effective with skip passes?
Yep. Yeah, either we went when it was either too far out, or we weren't supposed to be going and we went, or we were kind of in the middle, and is the guy going or not? We weren't on the same page. And he's seen so much of that DJ, and he's such a good passer, and they had such good spacing with their personnel on the floor, and that hurt us. And we choked a lot, or we went one-on-one in the post, and they scored pretty good in that too. So you got to sometimes pick your poison. But there was a few good stretches of what we were doing, but that was part of the indecision for sure.
Okay, thanks,
Thank
Tony.
you.
Please let me go.